remove the clutch ramp. You're going to slide that out. Sometimes that spring stays in with the primary or the clutch cover. And you're going to take your screwdriver and screw that clockwise as far in as it'll go. Take that out the rest of the way. Taking the ramp out, there's a little notch right there. Line up your ramp. And this all comes out in one fell swoop. You don't want to drop this little piece. Kind of rotate it and unhook it from the clutch cable. Okay, all the primary bolts are out. You want to take note that 4 of them are longer than the rest of them. The 4 longer ones go front, back, and the 2 on the top here. Not the way top, but these 2 right here. Okay, we're going to do that main shaft nut first. And this is reverse thread. So you're going to take it off going clockwise. This is a Jim's bar, locking bar. Jim's bar number 2318 is the number for it. I had to go with a longer bar to get that to break loose. There's a lot of torque behind that. It takes about 200 pounds to re-torque that, so you don't want to use a impact wrench on any of those nuts. You got your stator back here, magnets and whatnot, and you're messing with the transmission here, so you want to keep away from your impact wrenches on any of this stuff. Okay, we're going to remove this as both nuts are off now. We're going to move this as a unit. You can take your, you don't want to put a puller on this. Sometimes this is hard to get off because of the magnets, but just take your fingers and you can feel it starting to move there. It's a little tougher than this side. This side's going to slide right off, so. Take this off as a piece if we can. See, it's sucked back in because of the magnets, so. To stay there. There we go. Put that over here. Gently. And that exposes the seal, which is right there. And this is a spacer. You can remove the spacer. And you're going to reinstall this with the spacer in, because the spacer is what sets the depth of the seal itself. So, but we'll show that. Okay, even though this looks like a mess, it's nothing's been damaged here except the seal. Unless you have a really good seal puller, or at least a really small one to get that on there. It's tough to get this seal out, so you just have to be patient and don't fuck up your bearing or any of the seal surface around here. This is a Harbor Freight seal puller, and basically what I was doing is creating a larger lip around this seal, enough to where I could take the needle nose pliers, I don't know if you can see this, basically grab onto any exposed metal and then tap it to the center. Don't pry up on anything, don't pull. And now it's at the point where I got it to, you can see the seal sliding back and forth when you're tapping on it. And now it should come out, or come very close to coming out, because this side's sticking out. There it goes. Just be patient though. Don't want to screw up any of the, there it goes right there. The seal is pretty well done. It's pretty brittle. Most of the seal is gone. It's a single lip seal, and the new one's a double lip seal. So, and everything in there, even though it looks marred up here, it's not bad. The surface of the seal where it rides is good. Okay, again, you want to make sure your seal surface is clean, not marred up. You don't want to be doing any grinding on here because this is your main bearing. You don't want metal in that bearing. So here's the new seal. It's a double lip seal, rubberized all over, which is nice. You're going to put the spacer in first, just like that. Put that spacer in. It goes on there like that. It's not all the way in yet. I'm just showing you for quick reference. You're gonna have that spacer in the seal. Here's the specially made tool that I had made. It's a Harley-Davidson part, but I had it made. And that's what's going to set the depth. The spacer is what's going to set the depth. And you put the 1-inch spacer on there, which is just a 1-inch piece of pipe over that. And then you're going to take the crank nut and crank it down until it stops. And that's it. Okay, here it is again. Spacer is in the seal. My finger started the seal. It almost goes all the way in. Again, spacer in that seal. You can put that tool. Grooves are facing out. Okay, then the special tool fits into the groove. If we can get it in there. Looks to be in there. Yeah, there we go. Put that on there. And we'll get the crank nut that I lost, which is right here. Start that up. Okay, this is about it where it stops. Don't crank down on it. You go slow and you'll feel it stop. You don't want to crank any harder because if you go any deeper with that seal, it's going to hit that bearing. And in a few thousand miles, you're going to end up doing it all over again. Okay, here's the primary chain back on. Remember, you got magnets here. It's going to suck back on, so just be careful of that when you're trying to line them up together to get them back on there. What else? This is cranked to 200 foot-pounds, give or take 10. If you have a 150 foot-pound torque wrench, I just used a helper bar to add a few more pounds to that when I cranked the nut down. That's what I needed to do to take it off. And this one is 75 pounds, 70 to 80 foot-pounds of torque. And don't forget your locking bar. A couple other things. You want to change your O-ring at the base of your clutch cable. It's a good thing to do while you're doing this. Also, the shift shaft seal. It's on the other side of the primary case. Just pop it out with a screwdriver from this side, and it'll pop out like that. It wasn't leaking, but it's been a few years since I changed it, so I'm going to change it anyway. Okay, clutch cable's back on. Don't forget to put your alignment dowels back in the holes. And we're ready to put that primary cover back on. Another word of note too is if you ever wanted to change your starter gasket, the time to have done that was when you had the clutch basket and the stator cover off. You can't take those bolts out. Or you can't take that bolt out at least. So, just a word of note, a little late, but in any case. Okay, gasket's on, cover's ready to go on. The easiest way to do this is get your shift shaft lined up first. Slide that on there a little bit. Make sure your gasket doesn't fall off the dowels, which it just did. And it's going to continue to do that. Okay. Line your shift shaft and then reach up underneath. Make sure your hands are clean and lift the primary chain up over the follower. To back that out a little bit. Gasket lined up again, keeps the plate to keep following. So much for those dowels.